Hello, my name is Eduardo. I am currently living in the United States. Actually, I live in the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, which is the showgirl capital of the world, for all its shows and glamour and feathers and glitter and everything you can imagine when it comes to the world of entertainment. I am 35 years old. Actually, I'll be 35 next week, so happy birthday to me, I guess. And I actually was not born here. I originally am from Dominican Republic. I'm actually from a very poor side of the capital, which is Santo Domingo. So being born in Dominican Republic, which is a Latin island where in the Caribbean you always think of, oh, beautiful caramel complected skin, you have the sun, the beaches all year round, it's just gorgeous, and that's not what it is. I was actually born into a family where most were considered white. Myself, my mother, and my great grandmother were the ones that were of color. So I was actually partially raised with a grandmother who was very fair skinned, wavy hair, and to her, I remember at 3 years of age, she expressed to me that she considered me the bastard nigger faggot that would amount to nothing and never be loved. Mainly because my actual biological father was never involved with my life, and so my mom kind of raised me on her own. So, with that being said, growing up in a hut with 9 other people was not very fun. So, when my mother busted her butt and she worked 2 jobs, went to school full time, and graduated from college at the age of 19, she met my father, well, my stepfather, and he brought us to America. So, what was great about that was I was able to leave behind, being poor and also constantly having to battle the fact that I was wrong or different. So my grandmother would always tell me that I wasn't right in the head and that she would always shelter me, meaning I wasn't really allowed to express myself the way I wanted to. And my mother would always tell me that I was special and I was destined for many, 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 many amazing things. However, I would always ask her, like, is there something wrong? Is there a glitch in the system? What did I do? And I would always ask why I was hated. Because I was the wrong color. I was also very flamboyant. And I knew that, being gay at a very young age meant that I was just not attracted to women. Actually, I'm attracted to women, I just don't want an emotional involvement with a woman. So, with that being said, everything I did for my grandmother was always wrong, no matter what. Growing up in school, when I was in middle school, I started doing drugs, and even though I had A's and B's, and I was also trying to do as many, outdoor activities as possible, nothing was good enough for her. So it was crazy. In my head, I had all these battles going on to where I want to try and please her, but then in the end, that was my grandmother, not my mother. My mother and I were very like ride or die. She meant the world to me. She was just everything. So to me, my matriarch was my mother. But the real matriarch of my family was my grandmother, who unfortunately just despised me with a passion. I, to this very day, will never know why. And so what was interesting about that is I held on to a lot of anger and resentment for a very long time. And when you are told at a young age, hey, your hair is wrong, it's nappy, it's disgusting. You also have shit brown eyes. I used to think my eyes were so ugly because they were brown and they were basically told that they were dookie. And no one likes poo. Poo is just disgusting. So I always thought that I had really ugly eyes. And I always thought my hair was wrong. I always thought my skin color was wrong. So what ended up happening was I always had this internal battle inside. And I ended up having to discover where to find balance. At 9 years old, I ended up, having a total mental breakdown and just shutting down completely, because while transitioning from Dominican Republic to the United States, when you're learning a second language at a young age and being shuffled back and forth every 6 months till you become a citizen, you tend to meet people, and then what ends up happening is those people that you meet and try and like have a connection with, you don't see them again, because after 6 months, you're gone. So I ended up just having to see a therapist because I stopped talking. I completely went mute at the age of 9. And then when I became a US citizen at 10 years of age, it was like the world was gonna change forever. And we moved to Las Vegas, and with that move, what was so empowering was that my neighbor actually invited me for a sleepover, and the next day they were going to gymnastics. And so I decided to tag along. And after watching, the first gymnastics meet, I decided I wanted to be a gymnast or an acrobat. So I asked my mother. My grandmother was totally against it, but my own mother, she was gung-ho and all for it. My mom said, do it. If you break your neck though, the insurance will cover it. However, that's gonna be yo ass. But with that being said, I went to my first acrobatics class and had the time of my life. And then that opened the door for me starting ballet training. And with ballet training, I also dabbled in jazz and tap. And then I went to a performing arts school where I was introduced to contemporary. And this led to me becoming the artist that I am today and actually having a career in entertainment. I took all of that anger and all of that animosity and all of that resentment that I had towards my grandmother, and I found a way to channel that through my art. Like performing, you would never think I was a shy person, but I always have the craziest stage fright. Like I'm literally just shaking in my boots or my heels or whatever costume I have on. I am just like, ah! But as soon as I hit that stage, I become whoever I'm supposed to be. I mean, I have gone to castings where I don't even fit the criteria that's even listed, but I still get booked because I have confidence. I am able to basically live my truth. And with living my truth, what's so fantastic about it is that I can go ahead and look past, the racial barrier of when someone says, sorry, I don't do black. It's, you know what, who cares? We're like a huge box of crayons and we are all fit to be together, not separate. So it's crazy that even to this very day, I do have to listen to, people say, oh, is that a boy or a girl? Because I love androgyny. I love being different. I love the fact that I can play characters. And I also have this crazy eclectic style. Basically, everything my grandmother hated, I did. Because of the fact that anything I knew she would absolutely despise gave me the fire to do more and become more of me. Because what she tried to hide of me, I decided to just break down that barrier and just go, literally go. So that led to having, my career as an entertainer and as an aerialist. I've done shows, I've traveled the world. So, I come from a hut in Dominican Republic to now being a Vegas entertainer and also a world performer where I have traveled to many countries and I have seen so many amazing places that I'm so grateful that I was able to see. However, that could have all just gone to the wayside if I would have kept that negativity in and that hatred for my grandmother. If I would have just boxed everything in and done what she wanted me to do and be who she wanted me to be, I would not be who I am today, nor would I be where I am. I would have probably, tried committing suicide because honestly, when you live with someone that hates you and they actually vocalize their hatred towards you, it starts to affect you because you want to ask, why do you hate me? What did I do to you? You are supposed to be my family. You are this matriarch, and I'm supposed to look up to you, but you just, I don't know what I did to you. Somebody pissed in your Wheaties this morning because you are just sour. However, With that being said, I just want you to know that it is okay to be different. It is okay if you think that you have a glitch in the system. There is nothing wrong with you. You need to follow your heart. You need to make sure that when you look out that window, you know that your life can get better and it will get better. I'm living proof to tell you that I come from nothing, absolutely nothing, to actually being someone and living my truth and living my best life and just absolutely loving everything about it. And with that being said, I want you to know that as a survivor, life will be okay. You will be okay. Just make sure that you live your truth. Don't live somebody else's life. You live for you because you are all you have. And I want to thank you so much. Have a great day.